All right, hello everyone. This is my presentation on arts-based learning at semiotic resources and struggling learners. I've enabled the Google Q&A, so if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can just submit them through this link and they'll appear for me to look at later on. To start off, I will provide an overview of my overarching questions and the main issues that will be addressed within this presentation. I will explore how using arts-based learning and other semiotic resources creates a participatory culture within the classroom and encourages experiential learning among struggling learners. I will also make connections between the multi-literacies framework and the learning by design process. I will provide a brief overview of what I mean by arts-based learning using semiotic resources in connection to multi-literacies. I will then explore the importance of integrating these arts-based and semiotic tools by making connections to both Exley's 2007 work and Jenkins' 2007 work. I will make connections between arts-based learning and semiotic resources and makerspaces in connection to the learning by design and multi-literacies framework. In the last section of this presentation, I will explore the challenges in fostering the skills needed to successfully implement and apply arts-based learning and semiotic resources in the classroom to create a transformative learning environment by looking at the knowledge process and the challenges that exist within implementing. So my overarching question for this project is how might we integrate arts-based and other semiotic resources to develop creative and innovative approaches for struggling literacy learners? The main issues and challenges that come with this question are how do we integrate arts-based learning tools and use semiotic resources in our programming successfully? How do we foster the skills needed among struggling learners to apply arts-based and semiotic resources? And is the Ontario curriculum conducive to creative and innovative approaches to learning? So, a semiotic resource, as defined by Kress and Van Leeuwen from 2001, a semiotic resource may be defined as the inherited property of certain signs, codes, and media available to the learner. Similarly, arts-based learning can be defined as gestures, movements, sounds, and images that are symbol systems for forms of thinking and communicating that allow children and students to formulate ideas and express observations and understandings. Semiotic resources in arts-based learning go hand in hand and overlap in their definitions. Kalantis et al. 2016's mode of meaning in multimodality encompasses different modes of meaning among arts-based learning and when using semiotic resources. I will refer to these modes of meaning in conjunction with the learning by design process and creating a participatory learning culture for struggling learners. In this section, I will explore how arts-based and semiotic resources create a participatory and experiential learning environment, allowing learning tasks to become accessible to all learners. To begin, I will define participatory culture according to Jenkins 2017. So it has relatively low barriers to artistic expression and civic engagement, a strong support for creating and sharing creations with others, some type of informal mentorship whereby what is known by the most experienced is passed along to novices, members who believe that their contributions matter, and members who feel some degree of social connection with another. At least they care about what other people think about what they've created. By allowing students to engage with curriculum content through a mode of meaning of their choice, students will be likely to engage with the task based on their own personal interests, background, and learning needs. In an interview conducted by Guthrow and Holloway in 2013, mystery writer Gary Ryan suggests that creative writing teaches students how to articulate ideas, which helps students across all areas of the curriculum. Students must be engaged and active participants in the learning process in order to grow as learners. Murawski, 2008, suggests that arts-based learning provides a space for minds and emotions to entangle, thereby encouraging participatory learning. Additionally, Broderick in 2014 suggests that enabling participatory culture in school settings supports a shift and challenges educators to embrace the complex ways students already make meaning beyond the classroom doors. In the next slide, I will explore how the makerspace creates opportunities for students to have these mind and emotion entanglements in ways that students make meaning inside and outside of the classroom. Makerspaces encompass many possibilities to engage learners with big ideas and curriculum content. As we will learn in the video, makerspaces are spaces where people create things using a variety of material.
So in the coming years, you're going to see a collection of makerspaces across campus. And what we're hoping is that these spaces can be connected, that we can each have kind of a distinct kind of mission here on campus. My hope for the space is that this is the way we can start to think about teaching and research and that integration. Spaces like this start to overlap these research agendas and allow students within classes to kind of see the big ideas that are happening in so many of the faculty research spaces. The Maker movement is a national and international movement that's been popularized by Maker Media. And so this is anybody who's actually just using tools and materials to make and build things. And this could be everything ranging from crafting to high-tech kinds of Fab Lab technologies like laser cutters and 3D printers. We started a couple years ago thinking about what this could mean on campus. Here within the School of Education, it gives us an opportunity to really transform how we think about pre-service and in-service teaching, really repositioning teachers as designers of new educational landscapes rather than consumers of the educational content that's being delivered to them through the standardized curriculums and other kinds of efforts. Did you want... You think about things that would have high application within the K-12 settings. So you'll see that we have a laser cutter, we have 3D printers, we have sewing machines and vinyl cutters, and an array of kind of hand tools and everyday kind of making tools. All of this technology is a way to sort of put this in the hands of our next generation of teachers.
So Exley's 2007 research on working with linguistically and culturally diverse students within new literacies and technologies suggests that his experience with innovation did not rest in the inclusion of technology. Rather, innovation was founded on the integration of content from multiple key learning areas and pedagogies that developed in response to student diversity and the desire to value multiple ways of learning. In the next section, I will explore how arts-based learning and using semiotic resources must be integrated into programming rather than be seen as merely tools in the classroom. The meaning design process, as offered by Kalantis et al., suggests that students must first discover the available designs and resources for meaning. Jenkins, 2007, suggests that the tools available to a culture matter, but what the culture chooses to do with these tools matters more. Such arts-based and semiotic resources may be found for students in areas in the classroom like makerspaces, digital materials, or other tools that can be reworked. The designing happens when students make a place for reconstructing the resources for their purpose. Kalantis et al. Suggests that we are always reworking the world as found. There are many benefits of integrating arts-based learning and other semiotic resources to develop innovative and creative approaches for struggling learners. First and foremost, students are designing and leaving the world transformed. Different modes of meaning, such as spatial and linguistic design, are given equal status to written text, which allows students many entry points to engage with curriculum. By integrating arts-based and semiotic resources, students will be able to develop deeper understandings of concepts because learning will be connected. Jenkins suggests that a focus on expanding access to new technologies or arts-based and semiotic resources will only carry us so far if we do not foster the skills and cultural knowledge necessary to deploy those skills towards our own ends. In this section, I will explore the skills and resources needed to create a transformative learning environment using arts-based and semiotic resources to develop creative and in approaches for struggling literacy learners. The knowledge process outlined by Kalantis et al. 2016 suggests creates a connection between concepts. For example, experiencing the known and the new allows us to be both, quote, in the student's world and in the new world. Applying appropriately and applying creatively creates a contrast between doing things the right way and doing things the interesting way. Using a variety of arts-based and semiotic learning resources will help students make connections between self and content, and therefore they will experience success in their learning. What needs to be in place to successfully integrate arts-based and other semiotic resources into programming for struggling learners? Based on my research during this course, I can draw the following conclusions that will allow teachers to foster the skills that struggling learners need to integrate arts-based learning and semiotic resources successfully. The first thing is schools need to be equipped with innovative and creative spaces. This includes providing funding for the arts and not just technology. Curriculum needs to be inclusive of arts-based and multiliterate learning. The British Columbia curriculum, for example, offers an applied skills and technologies curriculum, which offers a renewed focus on designing and making the acquisition of skills and the application of technologies. Mentorship, quote, whereby what is known by the most experience is passed along to the novices, as quoted by Jenkins. And last, students need to be offered authentic learning opportunities that allow them to be engaged in the meaning-making design process. I'm only beginning to understand how to answer my overarching question. However, I do believe that there is great value in integrating these resources to best help my students. I have seen firsthand how using these types of resources creates a participatory culture amongst my classroom. However, I'm well aware of the challenges that lie within this type of learning. First, being the importance of integrating these tools into our program, and second, the challenges of fostering the skills needed for this type of learning amongst a curriculum system that it hasn't necessarily caught up to the modern classroom. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.